Ever wondered what happens when you flip the switch to turn on the lights? Power producers such as owners of wind turbines, solar panels and conventional power stations generate power that ultimately ends up being consumed by you and I, be that in your home, factories, schools or shops. It can be difficult to store large amounts of power. This means that as soon as power is generated, it has to be transported and used. If the producers generate too little power compared to what's being consumed, blackouts will occur. If they generate too much power, the system overheats and shuts down. This is why it's important that the system is always in balance. Production has to equal consumption. Behind the scenes, the power market consists of many participants that ensure a balanced and stable energy system at all times. Generated power is sent through a grid of very big cables that are administered by the so-called TSOs. They're responsible for the security of supply to you and I and ensuring that blackouts don't occur. You can compare these big cables or grids with the motorways throughout Europe. From the motorways, the power travels via the local roads or smaller cables. These smaller cables are managed by the so-called DSOs, who are responsible for maintaining them up to the point of your meter. In addition to this, supply companies are responsible for purchasing the amount of energy consumed by you and I. Supply companies are the ones who send you your electricity bill, which can vary according to power prices and the tariff that you're on. Power suppliers mostly buy power through energy trading companies such as Danske Commodities, who in turn purchase power directly from producers or an energy exchange. Energy exchanges can be compared to local marketplaces. They set the power price based on the calculation where supply meets demand. Generally, if something is in short supply, the price will be high, and if there's lots of something available, the price will be cheaper. Likewise, if there is low supply of power in relation to the consumption, prices will typically be high, and if there is high supply compared to what is consumed, prices will be lower. European power grids are connected across borders. This makes it possible to buy power in one country where prices are low and sell it in another country where prices are higher. There are a number of different factors that can influence supply and demand and affect power prices. One of the main factors is the weather. A lot of power produced today comes from renewable sources, such as wind turbines or solar panels, where production is dependent on the weather. Because the weather can be unpredictable, production can change unexpectedly, influencing the balance between production and consumption, and thus the prices. Consumption patterns can also vary. For example, in the United Kingdom, there is a spike in power consumption at 7:15 p.m, where people put their kettles on for a cup of tea in the commercial breaks of TV shows. The main point is that changes in production or consumption affect the supply and demand price curve, which in turn creates varying prices. Put simply, it's supply versus demand. Danske Commodities is an energy trading company. We buy, sell and move energy across borders in more than 35 countries, 24 hours a day, all year round. Our expert analysts use advanced data to create the most accurate forecasts possible. Based on these forecasts, we try to predict production and consumption patterns across Europe and estimate how prices will develop in different markets. Producers and supply companies can turn to us for help with their forecasts, and we also trade on their behalf, providing them with access to competitive power prices. In other words, we connect producers and supply companies to Europe's energy markets and ensure that they, and ultimately you and I, gain access to the best possible power prices.